Good afternoon, everybody. We are back again. Sorry for being late. Today I have Mrs. Shweta Khulbe from Dehradun. She is settled. Currently, she is settled in Haldwani due to her husband's engagement with the government. The topic today we are going to discuss over here is their flutters and Wonderland. Are we intruding in their space? Let me give you a brief description, introduction about Shweta. Shweta is she's currently residing in Haldwani, a city in Uttarakhand. By profession, she is a textile designer and a free and independent thinker with a vision and mission to make this world a better place for our children. She is presently serving as Chief Coordinator of Culture and Heritage Committee, Fikiflow Uttarakhand. She is the founder of Apricot Design Studio and runs a community called the Flutters Journal. She is passionate about working with kids. This made her study holistic and progressive development. Now, she designs creative workshops for kids and parents. She has immense passion for developing the critical thinking skills of the children and also make them more independent and confident to handle their lives with passion and commitment. That is passion and commitment that keeps her always wondering and creating new avenues for kids to develop their personality as a whole. Let's welcome Shweta Khulbe. Good afternoon, Shweta. How are you?
Good afternoon, Reena. I'm good. How are you? And
I'm good.
thank you for thank you first of all for calling me here, inviting me.
You're most welcome. You're
Uh,
always welcome, rather, I would say.
and I appreciate your hard work and behind the scenes, what's going on. Midnight you're working, and that's really I appreciate your intention of bringing all of us together, rather.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Shweta. So, give us a brief. In fact, I would ask you my usual question. Normally, when I have academicians, educators, principals here, ask them, what brings you to education? For you, I will ask you, you being a textile designer, a flourishing career in textile designing, what brings you close to children? What is it that triggered in your mind that you should start the Flutter community?
Okay, I'll start this discussion. I just stumbled upon this quotation yesterday, and this was really awesome. And I think we should share it with the viewers. It says, "In all the chaos there is cosmos, and in all disorder a secret order." This is by Carl Jung. He's a Swiss psychiatrist also. So we all know. I mean, the COVID has shifted everybody's world, and it's not same for us. So, hello, are we visible? Am I online, Rina? You are not visible?
I am very
Hello?
much there. I'm very much there. It's just that I've put you to full screen.
Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So it's like I was
No,
discussing this
please
quotation. I
Shweta,
also heard it.
please don't worry. If I am not visible, I am there watching you invisibly.
Okay, okay, all right. So I was reading out this quotation by Carl Jung. He says that in all chaos there is cosmos, and in all disorder a secret order. So now we all know that COVID has shifted everybody's world, and it's not the same again. It's not going to be same again. So, but it was quite visible, like quite clear before COVID also. Like things are not going to be same, and the world was shifting, energies were shifting, Earth is shifting day by day. So like who is going to change this world? So it's just the humans, we humans, who are going to change this world, I think. And and this is going to be era of unlearning, where we will be unlearning many things which we have, which are in there in our subconscious. So so now the question is, who is going to change this? It's humans. So now how does it happen? How do human do that? So the question arises that children need to be taken care of, and we need to rise. The frequency need to rise. So this thought and this subject made me study it more and more. I went deep into it, And then I gradually thought of, doing the courses in holistic design, holistic development of children. I tried to club my textile designing experience with the holistic design, this development courses, and now I club both of them. So now what I do is I do creative activities with them. I design workshop for parents and kids. And now that I've started this community called My Flutters Journal for Kids and Parents, so I think it's going to do well. Earlier, we were quite ahead of our times, but now world is opening up for this wisdom actually.
In fact, now I think the Flutters Journal is going to expand day and night, and that's what I definitely wish for.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Let's hope
Shweta,
for this.
just tell
Yeah.
me one thing. Like you've been doing courses on holistic development of children, right? So, what do you think, like holistic development or the courses that your holistic understanding of teaching is all about?
Okay, so in holistic development, what we do is we give space to the child. And what we do is we make this child think and expand his horizon. We try to make him lose all the fears what he has what are there in him. What we do actually is we categorize first 24 years of his life into sections. Like we say that 0 to 6 years are body years, then we say that 6 to 12 years are emotional years, and then we say that the next 12 to 24 years are will years, and then we say that 12 to 24 are intellect years. So what we do is we design things accordingly. So 0 to 6 years, he is he's just learning his learning to take care of his own body. The senses are developing. This is what is happening. So in second, like 6 to 12 year, what is happening is hello, hello, Rina.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm very much
Okay,
there.
okay,
Don't
okay.
worry. I'm
So
there with
six.
you.
All right. So 6 to 12 years, what is
Till,
happening is
till we do not finish our conversation and we are not satisfied that we finished it, I'm there with you. Don't worry if I'm not
okay.
visible because I want that people should concentrate more on what you are saying rather than when I want to disturb you, I'll pop in. Don't worry.
All right. Sure, sure. So, 6 to 12 years are when idealism develop, and this is also the age of refining emotions. Positive traits like bravery and honesty can be encouraged, and like 12 to 18 years are the years when rebelliousness is natural, and we do not should not take it as teenage misbehaving. This is a very positive trait. And then when we say when we talk about 18 to 24 years, these are the years when intellect begins to naturally flower and child is to ready to explore the world. And so we take care of all these stages in the similar sequence, so that and we use various tools basically for this development.
Yes. Shweta, I want to ask you one thing. What
Mhm.
can we as holistic teachers do to help our kids? What as teachers? Because this, I want all the teachers to understand and hear this because this is going to be something really, really very important.
Okay, so holistic teachers need to take care of the closed ones. We are talking about two type of kids right now. One are the lighter ones. Lighter ones are like easy people. You just give them a subtle nudge, they are ready. But then the closed ones are the ones actually who need help from us, who are with lots and lots of fears, or maybe there are reasons like personality traits, or maybe there's some physical problem, there is some environmental problem, etc. So what we do as holistic teachers is we try to go deep down into their world, into the closed ones world, and try to see and look what actually what brings in curiosity in them. So when we are able to find out the curious what brings in curiosity for them. That is where we can just pull that child uh, out of his own world, we can say.
Right.
So
Sorry for the
yeah.
interruption, Shweta. I have a question that is from Mr. Ramesh Joshi. He says,
Mhm.
how do you do it online? And suggestions for the teachers engaged in creative learning in today's circumstances. I don't think this Flutter's journal is online. Is it?
Yes, it is
So,
online.
so
They
I
can,
think then
my
this
view, like,
question is coinciding with it. How do you do it online? And suggestions for teachers engaged in creative learning in today's circumstances.
online in the sense, like, I am not getting online is the workshops we are talking about right now.
That's right. That's right. Your Flutter's
Okay.
Journal workshops for parents and
Ye-
teachers that we are organizing.
in fact, we are planning. I've had workshops on storytelling sessions online, and we do have tools to do that. And whenever kids are online, what we do is we take care of their personality side, and the story session keeps on taking place, or maybe some activity session, some craft session. But we are subtle in a very subtle manner. We are observing behind the scenes what is happening, what is going on in the child's mind, and here we interrupt. We otherwise don't interrupt in their word. We believe in not giving many instructions. So that's how it is.
So, what would you say for the current scenario that's going on? Like, is the school curriculum more important, or it needs to be some percent of school curriculum and some percent of creative thinking, creative learning, where kids can feel. What I personally feel as a special educator is that along with studies we should indulge them in other activities as well.
It should be
Because
balanced, Rina.
yeah,
It should be
because
balanced.
yes, it has to be balanced. Because as we were talking previously, also some of my colleagues, the principals from Mumbai and other places, they did mention that they are having online yoga classes, they are having meditation classes, and all. How do we get kids directly involved? Because when there is online yoga and online other classes, it's just, oh, let it be. That's what kids do
Yes.
normally. So how can
See,
we
what
involve?
Okay. So one trick is like what I do generally is with my daughter also. Uh, I keep a dedicated table for her. So this dedicated table has got all kind of stationery, drawing, painting stuff. So what we do is we just do not disturb her in this area. When she is online, like she has studied, she has done her job, her homework is done. Then she is, that space is a stress buster for her. She goes, does her drawing endlessly, and we just do not interrupt. So this is one way they can be helped. And otherwise, when we are talking about professional help, that can always be done. Like this community of mine, we are talking about online meditations, and collective, drawing sessions. So that's going to be inspiring for young people, I believe.
Right. So, in a way, it should be a lesson to the parents who are watching that when a child is already doing what has to be done, we should not be after his life. Keep do it, do it, do it, do it, because
Yes,
it's going to trouble them.
it
It's going to
is. It
stress
is
them.
actually we are
And
interrupting in their thinking space.
we have a habit, we mothers especially, and I guess fathers also. If a child is sitting idle for some time, अरे तुम जाके पढ़ते क्यों नहीं हो? पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो. अरे बाबा, पढ़ाई पढ़ाई करो. मना नहीं करते पढ़ाई करने को, लेकिन साथ के साथ और चीजें भी करो. What do you say about it?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, it should happen because otherwise, how do they explore this world? I mean, how do they widen their horizon? How do they think big? When we are wanting them to think big, so there has to be this they need to explore this world, and that has to happen.
So, Shweta, you being a parent, I being a parent, as a parent, what can we do to improve the situation that is currently available? We all know that it's not going to stay for long, and it might also, we are not sure how long it's going to be there. But as a parent, what can we do to make the lives of our kids better?
Okay, first of all, Reena, we need to understand that the earth is shifting, energies are shifting, and the same methodology is not going to work. Same idea is not going to work. So, and we need to understand that, uh, the doctors and engineers just are not going to take this world ahead. See, the earth is shifting, and this new era has to come in. So, how this shift is going to happen? The shift is only going to happen through humans. And when kids are ready for it, then it will take, the process is going to take, uh, better and in a faster way. So what we need to do here is, we need to understand that this era is era of unlearning things, and this era, the inventions will take place, discoveries will take place, and we need more and more of scientists, more and more of new ideas. So when we see, like, we need to nurture in this era more of Aryabhat and more of Tansen. This era is going to be of inventions, discoveries, music, art, and all those stuff, because this is how Earth is going to move forward. So how do we nurture them? If we interrupt too much in their area, in their zone, then sadly this is not going to happen. When I'm talking about Tansen and I'm talking about Aryabhat right now, because they were people uh, they were quite high on intuition. They channelized their wisdom from divine beings. That didn't happen from just inspiration from here and there. So when we are wanting to raise that, when we are wanting to when we are wanting this earth to rise, when we are wanting this to happen, then of course it all has to change. So it's very much obvious that parenting has to change here.
uh, I'm very happy. Like since the day I have started, everybody is talking about experiential learning, and experiential. I think that was what we were discussing last when we had a detailed discussion about it. So, like in
Yes,
a way,
yes,
all of us we are promoting experiential learning, right? So, as we have been just trying to change the world, so is the world trying to change itself. It's not that it's going to be there permanently. These changes are momentarily, whatever we are facing right now. Again, I'm repeating the same lines. It is going to be momentary. We don't need to get carried away by this, that oh, everything is finished. Because
yes, yes,
what I feel is that the schools are going to be closed for a pretty long time. It's been almost March, April, May, June, July has come, and still the schools haven't opened. It's like the kids
yes,
are, in a way, enjoying. We've got a long summer break, but
yes,
yes, they are missing the schools. They are missing the schools. So,
yes, yes.
you being into holistic development of kids, right? What would you suggest parents, apart from studies? You have already said that they need to dedicate a place for them where they can do creative thinking. What else can the parents do and get involved with the kids so that the distance does not create problem between them? They come together. I don't want that parents and kids they should go separate. They should go in different ways, because when there is too much of bombardments, do this, do that, ye karo, wo karo, aise karo, waise karo, there are different paths. Everybody is like they are just diverted, like
Yes.
same poles, repel each other, it becomes the same thing. What do we do
Exactly.
that North Pole and South Pole meet together and do something that is more developmental, that is more enriching, that increases the thinking process, the creative ability, and everything of the child?
Again, Reena, that's more about creative development only. Like creative development, it's not that just colors and sheets and craft material that's going to do the creative development. It's like maybe walking in the park, maybe sitting under the sun. And what I recommend doing is journaling. Journaling is one thing which this community is also all about. Journaling is like going deep down in your core. What is happening deep inside you, just write it down. And it is magical, I'm telling you. And whatever happened for the entire day, if even as adults we do it, that's really magical. And if kids are doing that, nothing like it, nothing like it. And it's such a stress buster for them. Whatever happens in the entire day, mother is they are given instructions and they are endless. I understand it's very stressful. So when they are jotting it down, their thoughts jotting it down in their diaries, in their journals, that's therapeutic. That's wonderful. And if you can do that under a tree, on the earth, or on the grass, nothing like it. That's the best therapy, I think, they can
Like
do.
basically we should try and be close to nature, because that calms your mind, that calms your soul, that calms your thought process. That is what we were discussing last night also.
Yes,
So
yes, exactly.
Shweta, how do we nurture their creative energies so that those creative energies, they come out to be something that is benefiting them, something through which they learn? Because okay, we take them out, we sit in the garden, we sit under trees, we teach them, but what do we learn from them? Because every moment is a moment where we learn. So
Yes.
how do we nurture their creative energies?
Okay, we need to give them enough thinking space. That's one first and foremost point of mine. Provide them opportunity to go within to their deepest core, and more important, like let them understand their soul purpose. Soul purpose is a I can say a profile they have been sent on this earth for. So soul purpose is something which they are born on for this earth. So if we want to, if we want this thing to unfold, we have to give them enough space to nurture and flourish. Space doesn't mean that we do not discipline them. Space means we give them instruction-free space. Because what happens is, as parents, we do have some dormant fears lying inside us. We should not let them compete. This competition comes from the dormant fear of, that is lying within us. Probably it came to us because that was a fear, that was a dormant pattern lying within our parents also. So this competition is not going to do anything. That is a subject of a past now. What we need to do right now is we need to do the creative development. We need to enhance this skill, because this is the skill wherein they think big. This is the area, this is their secret space. That's what I
basically
mean.
we
So
basically we want that our kids should be out of the box thinkers, right? They should be something that they develop on their own, that is completely different, where we can also learn from them. इट्स नॉट दैट कि अगर
yes,
हम माँ बाप बन गए हैं तो हम सीख नहीं सकते उनसे, बहुत कुछ है सीखने के लिए.
yes. Even I do this when I'm discussing something with my daughter, and I do not know something. Then I clearly mention, baby, we just do not. I do not know this. Let's go and find it out somewhere. Let's Google it. So what's harm in it? I mean, we are all here to learn, and nobody. We were not born with. And it's okay to
Exactly.
not know. something. So that's perfectly okay, I think.
I think because that is something normal, that's really normal. That if you, it's not that like we say कि हिंदी में एक कहावत है पेट से लेके कोई नहीं पैदा होता, right?
Obviously, yes, yes,
So that is what we learn once we are out in this world.
yes.
Shweta, there is a question from Amir Alipin. He says, "Ma'am, would it be right to
Okay.
say that allowing children to make mistakes is very important part of development?"
It is very, very important part of the development. In fact, first and foremost, because when they are making mistakes and when we are not interrupting in between, see, just there is, I mean, beauty of this particular, aspect. They are making mistakes and we are not interrupting in between. They are, yes, it should not become a habit or a pattern. When it's becoming a habit or a pattern, we need to interrupt, of course. But otherwise, that's a very perfect thing. We all do it. We have been doing it, and that's okay to do with the child also. I mean, if a child is doing it.
Yeah, because we also make mistakes, It's not that we are perfect. Even God is not
Yes, yes,
perfect. We are human beings. Had God
yes.
had things been so perfect, the world would have been a very different place to live in.
Yes, we are all here to learn and evolve, Rina. That's what we need to understand. Evolution is the part of the game. We are here to do that. And it is very much obvious that we'll make mistakes, we'll learn, we'll again make mistakes, we'll learn. But then if we stop making mistakes, then at some point of time we have stopped evolving. So I mean that goes same for the children.
Right. So, Shweta, because we have been talking about nature, we have been talking about natural surroundings, we have been talking
Yes.
about learn from the nature, we have been talking about we should sit outside and enjoy nature, be close to it because it relieves our tension, it relieves our stress. Now, I have a question that just popped out of my mind right now that
Okay.
what do children exactly learn from nature?
Okay.
Because at
So
times
at nature,
I have also not been able to find the correct answer to it. I do find some answers but not the correct one. Like I feel there is something missing in this answer. I need to know more. And
okay.
inquisitive mind, it keeps on finding out why, how, more, and then. So now that and then is just popping up again and again. So please, it might
Okay,
be
let
with
me
you,
answer.
it might be with other parents, it might be with some of the kids who are watching me.
Let me answer you. What happens is when we are closer to earth and when we are on grass and when we are on soil, what happens is our energy levels, we call this process grounding spiritually. Grounding is a process wherein all the stress gets released through our, feet chakra. So we are all talking about chakras these days. There are chakras below our feet also. So when they are, when we are standing on soil or when we are standing on grass, what is happening is the entire energy flow is, direct. I mean, the flow is regular. So there is no blockage, and that's why this grounding happens. This grounding is a process which is very much important in, we can say, in balancing our root chakra. So this is what happens. Our root chakra gets kind of, energized when we are closer to nature. So we feel energized and relaxed, and we are de-stressed automatically.
I think some of my inquisitiveness has gone aside, and now I want to know one thing. Um, I've often, while we have been discussing many times, we have always spoken about Wonderland and Fairyland and
Yeah,
so
my
on
favorite
and so
subject.
forth. So how would you like still like somewhere or the other we still have those small little girls inside us who are thinking about Wonderland and Fairyland. How would you depict it and how would you like elaborate it, the thought of being in
Okay.
Wonderland and Fairyland?
That's what about that. That's a subject which is very close to my heart, and actually, I when I was small, I had one imaginary friend that was flying horse. So this flying horse, I was quite. I used to go usually, go to that world. I had a frock basically. There was this flying horse, embroidered, and whenever I used to wear that frock, I used to be completely in a fantasy world then. So, but the positive side of fairyland is, this is an area, this is a space, very sacred space for children. When they are in this space, they are just thinking and they are just imagining. And this is a space wherein what do I say? They can dream big. If we they are in their own space right now, and here they can think of dreaming big. And later on, this capability of dreaming big comes handy later on in our life when they are dreaming big. So when they are making their professional choices and their careers, they are not, their mindset is not small. And when we talk about life also, just not career, when we are talking about life also, they are big thinkers generally. So when we are interrupting in their fairy lands and their dreamland, so there, we are kind of interrupting in many spaces of, many spaces. So this is a very, very sacred land, very, very sacred space of theirs, which we should not interrupt in. Rather, we should encourage them, doing all these little things, making fairy gardens maybe in our home. If we do not have a garden, why not a fairy pot, or a small pot, or a planter with some fairy and stones and all that stuff. That's going to be creative for them, and they'll just flourish. They'll just flourish. You'll see them, enjoying their own selves.
So basically, we can say it in other words that it's not only that there are dreamers.
Hmm.
It's not only that there are dreamers, but yes, those dreams need to be nurtured in our children so that they
Yes.
have a desire to just go and fulfill their dreams. The dreams that they used to see when they were kids. Like I always had a dream that I should either become a doctor or do something with which I can help people. And I think that dream has still kept me going, and going. Like it has not been easy, to just, it's not at all easy for anybody to just dream it and you get it. So I feel
Yes.
that what you've been saying is like about fairyland. Every child has a fairyland, and we need to be that energy. Not we don't need to sabotage their dreams. We just need to be that energy to transfer it into them, those energies that go ahead with your dreams, and you can definitely do wonders. I think we parents need to do
Yes.
that. We do not have to push them in the percentage rat race, because that is the
Yes.
worst thing we are doing. And
See, when
you
we
will
are putting them in competition, yes, please.
like as a parent, even you will agree that somewhere or the other we have that choti si thing in our, like a very small thing in our heart, that nahi yaar, our child should also be in the top 10, top 5, or top 3. Whereas
So
I
here,
that is what, we are trying to impose our dreams on the children. What do you
हम
say
अभी
about
किस
it?
चीज की बात कर रहे हैं? अभी हम इस चीज की बात करें कि अगर वो बच्चा अपना सोल पर्पस जानता है, अगर वो बच्चा अ, अपना ये इस बारे में जान गया है कि वो यहाँ किस लिए आया है, तो अगर वो
उस चीज की तरफ जा रहा है तो
अगर
हमें
वो
उसका
हीरो है,
साथ देना चाहिए।
तो नहीं, क्योंकि वो जो भी लिखा हुआ उसके लिए होगा, वो बहुत छोटी डेफिनेशन नहीं होगी, क्योंकि
वो
जो
बहुत बड़ी
डिवाइन
हो।
है उसके पास कोई भी छोटा नहीं है और कोई भी बड़ा नहीं है। डिपेंड करता है कि वो अपनी क्रिएटिव एनर्जीज को कैसे यूटिलाइज करता है। पहले तो उसने बड़े ड्रीम्स देखे
जी।
when he was in fairyland, but when he is using his creative energy, he is trying to utilize his, like, whenever there are problems, there are he's also making strategies in between, because he's creative enough to do that. He's crossing hurdles also because he's capable enough to do that, because that creative energy doesn't let him, go down, doesn't get him get depressed, or doesn't get him let him feel bad about anything. He will again get up, that child would again get up, that child would again, um, uh, try to find something creative, something in any worst of the situation. So that's very much for sure. अगर उसने dream बड़ा देखा है, so that's very much for sure that that's not going to be a very small thing for him. It's the sole purpose is going to be something big for that child.
So, like, we need to teach our children to dream big, not to curb their dreams.
What we need not to teach them is to compete, because
Yeah.
when we are teaching them to compete, what is happening is we are giving them a subtle hint that, see, you are lesser than someone else. So this competition is, now creating a hurdle, now making him feel little lesser than the other one. So this is where we are, creating a friction.
So, what should parents do to ease this friction? What should they do, like, that their kids, they start flourishing the way they should, not that they are, again, I'll talk about pushing them in the rat race.
Okay, we need to give them enough stuff, provide them enough opportunities wherein their imagination can be tickled. That's one way. Give them uh, give them biographies, autobiographies. Teach them, uh, teach them stories. Tell them stories of, really brave people around. That's going to really uh, bring up their willpower. At the same time, he will get lessons, uh, very subtle lessons to how to cope up with life when things are a little, difficult. So that's one way of doing it.
So, in a way, again, we are saying that experiences teaches a man, and that is how they develop into somebody as some unique personalities. Because until and unless we teach them to nurture themselves, they will not
Right,
flourish.
right.
I have a message from Mr. Mohit Joshi. He says, as parents, shall we help our kids in developing a dream of their own in their formative years? And how to do that?
Okay. So let's not let's. I mean, children, they do show little sign of their what they are going to become in their formative years, but then we should let it be, let this option be, open, and we should not interrupt in the process in between. Sooner or later, that child would show more and more signs of what he is wanting to really become. So we again, we need not to interrupt in the process. Just go with the flow and just keep following the signs what he's giving.
Ma'am, Amar says, ma'am, just a humble comment. I think the factor of competition starts from the moment we throw our kids in the education system. What do you say about it?
Exactly. It does happen, but again, when we are talking about soul purpose, and when we are talking about thinking big, when we are wanting to have, let them, when we are wanting them to dream, our perception changes in that case. So that the entire philosophy of parenting uh, changes here. So, I mean, then we don't think about competition. Then we think about nurturing them. They're nurturing their heart, nurturing their soul. That's what is more important as a parent, I think.
So, in a way, we could say that currently the most important thing is that we need to think about changing our parenting ideas, changing our parenting tips, And for teachers, they need to change their thinking ideas for children as teachers, and they should change themselves, because once they change themselves, both parents and teachers, things are definitely going to be different. What do you say about
Yes.
it?
That's all about perception, again the same thing I'm repeating again, perception, because when we are talking about holistic development, when we are talking about, see, when at times we are spanking kids,
Exactly.
then we need to understand here that we are, their self-esteem is not no lesser than ours. And uh, I just I can just imagine the mental state of that child. So here we need to take a back step. Parenting, of course, need to change. I feel spanking is something which is really really unhealthy for a child's development.
So, in a way, we can say that we need to handcuff our hands, we have to be strict, we have to
Agree.
be polite, same way, we have to be firm. We have to tell the
Yes,
kids to
yes.
do, we have to tell the kids to do what is correct for them. If they are wrong somewhere, we need to correct them, but without spanking, without shouting on them, without just telling them, no, you cannot do it. We should tell them
Yes.
that this is going to be the side effect of what you are trying to do. If you want to experience it, go ahead. We are there with you, but we know that this is dangerous for you.
Yes, then
So
it becomes a pattern.
we are being firm, we are being strict, we are being polite, we are giving them, we are being lenient. Side by side, we are cautious. So these five
Yes.
things, I think, the as parents and teachers, we need to imbibe in ourselves, because we've been talking about imbibing values, sympathy, empathy in the kids. What about us? Because our
Yes.
kids to change. If we want our kids to change, we also need to change somewhere. What do you say about it?
Exactly. I mean, agree. I mean, I'll repeat, because when it is becoming a habit, a pattern, therein we need to interrupt, because once a pattern is develops, then it is hard to break. Once he's done the same thing twice, thrice, then it's becoming a pattern now. But the very first moment when we can, if we break this habit, this pattern, nothing like it. I mean, then later on in later stage we become gods otherwise. So why not to change our parenting styles?
I think it's like same, you know. That's why we say कि बच्चा कितना भी बड़ा हो जाए, for us वो छोटा ही रहेगा.
छोटा
Reason
ही
being
रहेगा.
that when we start teaching the child to walk, he walks slowly, slowly, slowly. Many times he falls also, and we are there to pick him up to in our lap. So I think in the formative years, in the years like you mentioned, a couple of age groups, in those age groups, we need to be there for our kids. We should not let them feel that they are alone, because loneliness is the biggest horror for them.
Yes, yes,
Like if we take it as adults, whenever we are alone, we feel this is the end of the world. We should try and step into their shoes and tell them to step in our shoes. We should
ah,
try.
yes.
Yes, we should tell them to step in our shoes as well.
Agree with you, Rina.
Amar says, I have been spanked by my parents, and back then it was 30 years ago. It was so acceptable that I didn't even feel guilt. So all of us have gone through the same process. All of us have gone through that. But the
All of
fact
us.
is that, but the fact is that this generation is completely different. We need to handle them with more care, very cautiously, very gently, like we handle an egg in a nest. We just we just have to wait for them to understand what they are facing and what is going to happen next. What do you say about it?
See, their journey is quite different from ours, first and foremost thing. The energy, the shift, the massive shift which is taking place, that is something we didn't see. So their journey is very different. Ours was very different. Our times was very different, and this is very different. We need to change with the time. And since they are quite ahead of us in this evolution process, and they are brighter than us. I just do not accept that these kids are lesser than us. They are such bright people. They are such full of energy, ideas. We are not exploring this part of
In fact,
their capability.
now is the time after this, the entire world was declared with pandemic, facing pandemic.
Hmm.
I think this is the
Yes.
correct time when we as parents need to evolve ourselves. We as parents need to understand that yes, भाई इस दुनिया में हमसे भी ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे हैं, खाली
Agree.
हम ही
Agree.
नहीं है वो इंटेलिजेंट.
Agree completely. They are very intelligent people,
They
very
are very
intelligent.
intelligent. The only thing is we just need to channelize their energies. We need to channelize their thought process, and they can definitely do wonders. What do you say about this?
Sorry, I couldn't get because there was some connection problem
Yeah,
in between, Rina.
yeah. These kids, they
All of a
are.
sudden, your voice has gone down.
Is it okay now? Can you hear
No,
me?
I'm not able to. Very, very, very mild.
Can you hear me now?
I
Hello.
can, but yes, I can, but that's very low.
Let me check. I think everything was going on fine. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay, let's try.
Okay. Now is the time, after the world has been declared under pandemic, it is the right time when we as parents, teachers, need to evolve ourselves. We need to understand that these kids, they are big, big, huge balls of energies and talent. We need
Yes,
to channelize their energies, we need to channelize their talent, and we need to be you can say, we need to be an umbrella for them, not a stick for them. We need to be, though we are always umbrellas, but we need to nurture their talent, we need to nurture their abilities and capabilities. Because I personally feel that every child is born with a different ability and a different capability. Like both of us, we are sitting and talking. You are in Haldwani, I am in Dehradun. So we have that ability and capability to connect to each other. That is why we are here today on this platform. So, as parents, we need to evolve ourselves, we need to nurture ourselves to get the energy and talent to handle and evolve our kids and nurture them. What do you say about it?
yes, I completely agree. I mean, nurturing is the solution, I would say, because before this we were thinking that we are here to upbring them. That was the concept in our minds. But nurturing is the right, if we can really nurture them, their if they can unlearn the all the fear which are already dormant, if we can nurture their heart, if we can nurture their soul. That's what parenting is. New parenting is all about. uh, I mean, we need to get rid of our old concept of parenting. That's what the
Right.
point is here.
Right. So, in a way, we can say that right now is the right time where we need to change the concept, the perception, the thinking process, and everything of a child. So, how would you say that? How can we, as parents and teachers, show them a bigger picture of life?
Okay. So the bigger picture is, first we need to understand that we need to accept this, that the massive shift is not going to take place with the uh, with the lower energies. The vibrational shift has to happen. The vibrational shift has to happen within us, and when it happens within us, along with us I mean, along with the people, it is going to happen in our children also. So how do vibrational shift happens? So vibrational shift is not going to happen just like this. We need to explore things more. We need to evolve, as parents also, as person also. So when we understand, try to understand this bigger picture, it is going to obviously get, I mean happen with children also. Reading them, again, I'm repeating, reading them books, reading them biographies. There are many spiritual books which are meant for this purpose. The parents are free to explore them. They can, and there's so much of information right now for this evolution, process. I mean, it's easily available. Earlier it was not. So this era of unlearning is whatever we can unlearn. There is so much in us right now.
So, you are also aware, and I'm also aware that these days the kids are not going out. In fact, even we are not letting them out. So, what would you suggest that parents can do to make them their stay inside the house be happy, creative, constructive, and everything, like everything that has all positive things in them, so that though they are
Give them
staying in, they do not feel that we are just closed inside, we are jailed. Rather, that is the word they use. Hum jail mein band hain.
provide them lots and lots of art material. जैसे कि हम लोग ग्रोसरी लेके आते हैं ना. Better if we get art material that ways, supply of a month or so maybe. That is one trick we can do. So give them their space, their dedicated table for them. If there are two kids, have that table. Maybe that table near the kitchen would do wonders. Why not to dedicate a wall, an entire wall for the children, wherein they, whatever they feel like they do. And you will make I mean, parents will have lovely memories out of it later on, post COVID. The entire wall is painted, and that's something which they're going to relish. And the kids, at the same time, they'll have a wonderful time doing that, I think.
So I think by doing this, we can even, in a way, motivate them to cut short their screen time, cut short their what do you say, Call of Duty time, cut short their Ludo time, because these days they are glued to Call of Duty, Ludo, and all these things, and start building their abilities and their creativity, so that once, because only studying is just going to blow their brains off. So
Yes.
I think this is really something which all parents should know, and they should also follow it. So in just a few minutes back, we were discussing about stories and storytellings. So I would like to ask you, how important do you think do the stories play a role in a child's life? In other words, if I say, what is the importance of storytelling in a child's life?
It is very important because again they are they are in their dreamlands. If that's a fairy tale, they are in their dreamlands. If like when we are talking about 6 to 12 years, you know, they, if they are taught that, that is a time span when their emotions develop, when they are when they are emotionally evolving. So here, when we are telling them, these stories of bravery, of brave souls, of intellect, and they will, this information or whatever is going to stay with them forever, and they will observe quietly. It's not that they'll speak about it, but they will utilize this information gradually and later on in their life. So this is the time when the stories of uh, the brave souls and great minds should be told to kids. That's very important. So
Right.
it plays a really, I mean, and particularly if parents are doing that, it's very much, of course, creating a bond between the parent and the child.
Right. There is a question. Those children, it's again from Amar. Those children whose both parents are working, aren't they at an inherited disadvantage?
Sorry, your voice is a little low, Renu.
Those children who have both parents working, are they at an inherited disadvantage?
They are, but it's up to the parents how they, balance this situation because, of course, parenting is important and work is also important. We can't expect mothers to be home when they are, just working and making their career. But if we devote a very specific time for, if parents are able to devote a very particular specific time or hours they dedicated for their children, then I think it makes a good balance. So mm, it's all about balance. How do we do it?
So let's take a recap. That's what the official school language is. Take a recap of whatever we spoke today. Today we spoke about how to nurture a child's thoughts, his behavior, his well-being, his overall development, his creativity thoughts. Secondly, we need to evolve ourselves as parents, teachers, so that we can help the kids develop better. Please do correct me if I've missed out on something. And then we have like anyhow we have to make our kids what they want to be. We will not force ourselves on them. And then the
Exactly.
most important thing, dedicate time and energy to them. That is how they will
Yes.
develop and nurture. What would you
Yes.
like to tell the
Right.
parents? Take away from today's talk, from your Flutters General.
Okay, that's let them. I mean, it might be a repetition, but uh, going within is very important. When they go within their own selves, that is where they'll find peace. That is where they'll find ideas. And later on, it becomes a little difficult to go, deep down our own selves because again, it has become a pattern now. But if it can happen in initial stage in the foundation years, then it is really like, though it's not difficult to do that in 6 to 12 years or 12 to 12 to 18 years. It's not that difficult, but if it can happen, it's going to be easy for child, and that flow will always remain with him.
Right, right. It was amazing talking to you, Shweta. It's always been amazing talking to you. Uh, I think we should end up our talk today. It's already 4. Uh, it hardly matters when we talk. We can go for hours and hours, but still. Okay. So let's end our session today over here, and tomorrow we will be here with Mrs. Harsha Girish Ramaya from Bhavnagar. She is going to talk on life of a preschooler during pandemic. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Namaste.